Julianna Arnold joins me now, along with Kelly Stonelake. Kelly was an executive at Meta until 2024 when she became a federal whistleblower and an advocate for child safety reform. It is great to have both of you here. I'd like to first get your reaction from both of you to today's settlement. Julianna, you go first.
Sure. Well, thank you very much, Elizabeth, for having us. I mean, definitely this is a milestone, in our country and should be treated as one. It was a little bit of a mixed response to how we felt as parents that have lost our kids to social media harms. And while we appreciate what the AGs have done and all of the work that has gone into us by so many people, we just feel that this is just the beginning of our fight and there's still so much more to come. And we can probably get into that a little bit later. But I want to say that while we are ecstatic, this is a small step and in no way shouldn't be made to seem that this is the all out, and that everything's good and all these platforms are all of a sudden going to be watching out for our children and making sure that the design of their platforms are safe, because that's not what they have a promise to.
Yeah, Kelly, I imagine as somebody who was once on the inside there, you know that their priority is making money, not keeping kids safe.
Completely. Yes, I echo Juliana's sentiments and yours in the opening that this is a huge moment, right? The fine is meaningful, but more so are the product changes. Mm-hmm. But what struck me the most was that in their announcement, Meta calls for other platforms to join them in the name of kid safety. And this is after years of categorically denying that Instagram or Facebook are harmful to kids. So to Juliana's point, like while this is a win, I don't think it's a win and should not be a win in our level of trust toward companies like Meta.
Right. Well, they're encouraging other companies to make the changes because they don't want the competition, right? I mean, they say this only works if all of our peers join us, but they also just don't want kids going someplace else.
Right. I mean, Meta is masterful at running this playbook of denying that harms exist and then putting, acknowledging them, putting the blame on other parties like parents like Juliana. And then, when their back is against the wall and there's enough pressure, suddenly they're willing to change. But it's always paired with PR spin meant to make them look like they've been invested in kids' health, when really what they've been invested in is Mark Zuckerberg's pocket and at the kind of damage of families like Juliana's and kids like Coco.
Juliana, you know this firsthand, and tragically so, that it is really hard to get that phone out of your teenager's hand. I know that as a mom of two teenage boys. Are these reforms enough? Or because kids have a way, they're a lot more social media literate than a lot of parents. They're ingenious when it comes to finding workarounds.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I just want to echo what Kelly said. I mean, there has been no admission of any wrongdoing a part of these platforms whatsoever. And they're not committing to any substantive design changes, which are what we are after to stop them from addicting and luring our kids and exploiting them for profits. And yes, I 100%, agree with everything that's being said right now.
But Juliana, do you think that these reforms are enough is what I'm after?
No,
or will kids find a way around it?
Kids can find a way around it. And I think this is what we're saying. It's just more of what they've been giving us with the Instagram accounts. And every time that we have something that they feel threatened by, some piece of legislation or potential piece of litigation, they come out with a new set of, parental controls and other things that they're going to implement. But as I said, they're just the tip of the iceberg. They do not get into the deep design choices and decisions these companies made to exploit our children for their business model. So it doesn't do anything about changing their business model, which is built upon keeping our kids' eyes on their platforms so they can monetize that and exploiting our children in the process. So I feel the parents need to be aware this is not any type of meaningful change. It's a great PR move on their part to try to trample this and make it from Zuckerberg not having to testify. And it came at the price of a $17 billion settlement.
Yeah, Kelly, Juliana brings up a really interesting point. First of all, Meta's been on a huge losing streak in court in the last year. They've lost lawsuit after lawsuit, but this came on the eve of Mark Zuckerberg taking the stand to testify. What do you make of that timing?
Well, there's just a huge amount of kind of cognitive dissonance that people like Mark Zuckerberg have to be a father himself and be kind of
And
charging
saying
and
things like, I don't want my kids spending all day long scrolling and watching TV.
exactly.
Okay, but it's okay if everybody else's kids doesn't do it.
Completely. And so he really has to build like a bunker, no joke intended, around his own psyche in order to continue making such devastating choices. And being asked to sit on the stand and answer to the public about those choices is probably one of the most painful things to him and to his mental model in this process. And so, yes, I think there's an effort to avoid that, but the writing's on the wall. You mentioned the other cases in Los Angeles, and Juliana and I sat in the courtroom there together in New Mexico, and the evidence is just overwhelmingly clear that Meta knows they're causing harm and they're not going to get out of it. And so the writing's on the wall, and I think that they opted for a solution that was potentially more palatable to them than another kind of big judgment.
Yeah.
And I think they were trying to greenwash us again and making us feeling that everything's going to be okay. And now they've learned their ways. And look at what a leader they are in getting the other social media companies to follow suit. And yeah, Ray, yeah, look at us. But I think, as Kelly said, this is, I think the lies are catching up with them. I think the deceit and the denial is also as well. And I think as we see moving forward with the cases to come, and also I believe that this should be able to put some more pressure than they even have on Washington, D.C. to take
action.
To take action, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
and one big difference in this case with these product changes versus some of the other things where maybe like when I worked there, for instance, we had a plan of record to launch a product to kids, implied appearance that parental controls existed even though they wouldn't be ready, right? Stuff like that. That's what Meta does, and that's why I don't work there anymore. But in this case, with this settlement, there will be a third-party auditor, and I have some issues with kind of some of the details of it, but overall, that's a very good step relative to where we've been. It's just, this is the very beginning, because as Juliana mentioned, there is a long list of harms, and yes, these steps are important to mitigating them, but it doesn't do anything about Meta's like disregard for the fact that predators are connecting directly with kids on their platforms, or
that their algorithms are designed to keep those kids on those platforms hour after hour, day after day,
Elizabeth.
becoming depressed and anxious, like so many adults, but even more so because they're kids.
And they're so vulnerable.
Yeah. Julianna Arnold, Kelly Stonelake, thank you both, Kelly, for your expertise on this and for speaking out with your firsthand knowledge. And Juliana, as always, I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you both.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for having us.